Gentlemen, we are live. And guess what? We've got quite a few things to get into. We've got the fallout from Extreme Rules. We have the return of Bray Wyatt. Brian H., you've been on hand for a whole lot of things. But guess what? We've got plenty of time to talk about it because we're on our show. Brian H., what did you... Wait. Did you... And that's how that's done. Good brothers. You like that? That was a little dramatic touch. When I was thinking about that all day.
Oh man, that was dope.
I could tell.
See, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. Thank you for joining us as the people start to come into the chat for the Shenanigans brothers. Yep. How are we doing today?
Great.
Man, I'm feeling refreshed.
Bro, y'all look hungover. Are y'all okay?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
There's a such thing as a wrestling hangover. And I don't know if you guys are y'all don't start that. I'm getting too old for this kind of stuff. But you guys are like, you slowing down a little bit.
Never that.
Let me tell you.
Okay. Yeah,
let me tell you why I'm good. You know, hey, Brandon in the building.
Who's that? The guy?
Yeah, the guy.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Just got finished. Actually, just came off a TWG fan club. Talked about my Extreme Rules experience. Before that, I was,
and how are the ladies doing?
Yeah, you say how the ladies doing?
Yes,
good. You know, the party's coming up. And you know what I'm gonna do? I just thought about this.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and contribute to the sponsorship for that on behalf of the Wrestling Wrealm. I'm gonna take care, and we're gonna take care. We're gonna support them now. Let's help them out. And
I will hit the breaking news button, but we keep getting flagged on YouTube.
Right.
So I ain't even gonna try to mess with my buttons today because I had to move equipment and
don't listen. That's okay. It's okay. Shh, it's okay.
You've been messing up a lot lately anyway, so that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
More you later.
I didn't. That was him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm feeling good. Mac Mania. I kind of drew a little heat.
Yeah, I noticed.
I don't think people understood what I was saying, but I said we're not going to confuse a raucous crowd for a great wrestling town. You know, I'm a ride for my city where we got all the wrestling. That's all I was trying to explain to them.
You always going somewhere and drawing heat. That's why nobody likes me, because they'll Brian will do something, then they'll not like me. And I'm like, he said it wasn't me. No, I don't know why you think because you tall. You like, bro, I don't have nothing to do with it. I didn't have nothing to do with it. It's Brian Nature. But go ahead, Brian Nature.
Shout out to Justin Humphrey in the building.
Justin
I've come to acknowledge and say ye like Sami Zayn. Justin was on there too on the TWG fan club.
Oh, yeah. Sammy Uso.
Yeah. 500 mega reunion show. I think we're about 13 away.
Okay.
And I gotta double check because I'll get into that later. Yeah, but shout out to the Flex Zone.
Later.
Yeah, I missed the Morgan shenanigan. Our good homecoming. I actually was up there for a little bit. Saw Brother Fam.
Shoot,
from
that might
Black
have been a good thing. Oof.
Yeah, but I went there before. I had to, I went in. I ain't even going to big campus. My little cousin go there now. I'm gonna give her space, even though she hit me up, see if I was there. Yeah, so it's her turn now. But she was good, so I was happy. Okay. And then I, went up to Philly. I'm pretty sure, I'll get into that later. But yeah, it's been a great week.
You've been busy, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, but Brian H was in attendance at Extreme Rules this year. He was also in attendance at Monday Night Raw, that Monday in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we have quite the bit to get into. Brian H might have met a few people. Huh?
Yeah.
He might have been in the personal space of a few legends or two. But like I said, we'll get into that later. Brother Hugh. Yeah. How are you, sir? It's been a lot of wrestling going on. You been all right?
I'm good. I'm
Dwayne want to make sure we good because he know what happened after in 2012.
I remember that. I never thought I would see the day that Brian H have a wrestling hangover. Like he went too hard. Like he was in a wrestling show. Like if it was a 5-day week, probably what, a 4-day week. 4 or 5 day week. He was at a wrestling show for I think at least 4 or 5 hours.
Brother Hugh was there too, though. Yep. And the funny part is,
snap! I'm tripping.
We were side by side.
Yo, you were so much quieter then. You didn't say.
I was real quiet.
Brother H is always. Brother He's always a good brother. He was always going on a ride from the shenanigans.
Coming over, Wrestling Wrealm equal family. They just missed the announcement.
Oh, they must have just missed it. We'll go and announce it again before they get up. They got to work in the morning.
The Wrestling Wrealm will be sponsoring the TW. We added to the sponsor list of the TWG party, 4th anniversary party.
Yeah, that's the least I could do. But yeah, like I said, brothers, we got a lot to get into, man. And like I said, it's been about 6 or 7 minutes, so we're not gonna prolong it any longer. Does that make any sense? Who gives a crap? It's my show.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's not okay.
There we go.
And I'm a champion. See that right
brother.
See that? I'm a champion. But you know what time it is.
Oh, hold on. Speaking of champions, bro.
Talk to your boss.
I was at Morgan State University homecoming.
Oh, what? Yo, you mentioned it. Hold on. You mentioned this story. Woo! Go ahead, explain.
Boy, I had a ball, bro.
I heard all I know is I'm sitting there on the phone, right? And I get a text. He's like, bro, they like something was going to be like, brother, did you catch something? He's like, no, I ain't catch that, but you ain't gonna believe this, bro. I had the belt and they put me on their shoulders and they walked me all the way across campus. Like they carried me all the way across campus. And I was like, wait. Like you just won a championship in real life. And I was like, he's like, yo, true story, bro. True story. And I'm like, what in the world? So please tell the story real quick before we get into logistics.
All right. So after I left Uncle Raj, I was walking back to my car. And like about 3 guys and some girl, they approached me. I was like, oh my God, you the champion? I said, yeah, I'm the champion. You see this belt right here? What's going on?
That's always the right response.
Right. So they went, oh, what's that? Where can we follow you? Whatever. I said, well, look, if you follow me, they came up to me. They was like, look,
connected.
All right,
go ahead, continue.
My bad. It threw me off.
I played good music.
He's putting your background music in. Go ahead.
All right. They came up to me and was like, yo, we have to put you on our shoulders and carry you. And I was like, so you know me, it's nighttime at Morgan State University.
You like, hold up,
and
man,
I'm like, hold on. What you talking about now?
There you go, man.
Like, look, forget it. If you follow me right here at the Wrestling Wrealm, I'll let you do it. Lo and behold, they scooped me.
All right.
They took me from like Hurt Gymnasium all the way to the bridge, the main bridge. And they was like, man, you gotta get pumped, bro. Let's go. I said, man, I'm the champion out here.
He turned into the rock real fast.
Hey, I had the Proud Wrestling tee on and everything. I took my jacket off. I was all on top. I said, hey, I'm the champion.
Oh, you was good lit.
Everybody turned around, was just looking like, oh my God, what's going on?
Brandon, that's exactly what I said.
Oh, man, that's perfect.
Right. Hey, I was gonna get some footage, but the thing is,
happened too fast, bro.
It wasn't even that. It's just that I didn't know these dudes.
You had to make sure they wasn't kidnapping you.
I didn't make sure they weren't gonna take me somewhere I didn't want to be and be like, all right, hey, let me take your belt. I'm like, all right, okay, whatever. But that's what happened.
Yo,
and I had a good time.
Somebody gotta have footage.
Somebody has it. They just don't know who. You know what I mean?
Somebody recorded it. It's nowhere to work. Because if I see that, I'm pulling up my phone real quick and I'm recording that. But ladies and gentlemen, if there's any way, if there's anybody listening or watching that have any access to somebody, if
Please
you saw
post it.
a brother Hugh or just a random dude on somebody's shoulder flying through the campus with the belt on, it was brother Hugh. In case you didn't know,
It was me.
Man, we doing investigations now. It's another investigation.
Man, we got
shout out to Justin because he said that on the show tonight that he was waiting for your investigation to the Bray Wyatt and everything.
Oh boy, it's gonna be fun. We'll get into that. But listen,
it was something else. It might have been something else. He said, "Oh, we gotta get the real Dwayne Allen to investigate."
Listen to me. We got plenty of time for investigations, but of course, first, before we can investigate anything, we gotta get into logistics. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you all came to hear. This is the most important part of the show. At least that's what I tell myself.
Yes, it's the most important part of the show there, baby. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Let him have it. I'm chilling.
Wait for it. Here I go. I'm winding myself up. Wait. Welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. When? Now. You can watch our flagship show, The Wrestling Wrealm, and other shows such as The Wrestling for the Culture, Breaking Down with Brian H, and other content anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm, where myself, the real Dwayne Allen, Brian H. Waters, and brother Hugh has a third explore many topics and try to educate and give fans a different perspective in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host, the realness himself, the real Dwayne Allen. He is your host, Brian H. Waters. He is your host. Brother Hugh has the third H to the A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R to the D. That never gets old.
No.
You can follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at The Wrestling Wrealm, 2 W's. Like and subscribe and engage in a conversation with us. You can also stream and download all of our audio content on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And you can watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Wrealm. To support The Wrestling Wrealm and what we do, you can shop now at WrestlingWrealm.com, where we have our merchandise. We have our famous proud wrestling fan t-shirt. We have hoodies. We have mugs. And guess what? It's a whole lot of people not really buying our stuff. But you could let me make this perfectly clear to you because I'm on one.
Uh-oh.
You better get this stuff while you can, because after a while it's not going to be as available to you. Right? Because after a while it's the demand for it is going to be extremely high. But as you can see, this is our new collection we have coming out for our fall and winter 22. The Wrestling Wrealm in the old Monday Night Raw logo. So if you want to support us and be a part of us and do, kind of look like we look, we have plenty of t-shirts there, plenty of new drops, but you got to go to the website, WrestlingWrealm.com, to see for yourself. Also, follow us and subscribe to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/wrestling_realm. Do not forget the underscore. Patreon.com/_realm, where you can get all the exclusive content, including Brian Waters' thoughts. Brian H., you have quite a few thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I had quite a few thoughts too. But guess what? Eventually, I'm gonna get it to. Hopefully, we're trying to figure out a way to do Realness Reacts, where I can just be unhinged and uncentered for a lot of different reasons. But once again, I like to show these things just because. This is just our famous YouTube channel. Like, why do I show this all the time? Well, just because I don't have a reason. It just is.
Because we put in work. That's why.
There it is.
Speaking of putting in work, speaking of shows that we have, Brother Hugh.
Yeah.
You forgot where you came from.
Where I come from.
Last week, Realness.
Uh-oh.
You gonna try to call me out?
Have family time. Last week, Brother Jay Bougie came through.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And we had a face-to-face. And this dude, Brother Hugh, couldn't remain neutral at all. And I'm sitting there like,
well, goddamn, Brother Hugh, what happened?
I tried to be. You was there. You was there at Black WrestleFest.
That's
and
true.
I was trying to make peace with the brother.
We had footage of it. I remember
485 on PWI.
Oh, okay. The numbers then went to his head.
The numbers then went to his head a little bit, and I said I'm gonna be in the building. Come November 4th.
What date is that again? You said
November 4th.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Brother Hugh sitting up there like, oh, Brian, why you treating him so bad? Brian, why are you doing that, Brian H? He's the guest. Why you gotta act like that?
You were kind of being disrespectful, bro.
I wasn't being disrespectful.
What sounds to me, Brother, he was trying to be very hospitable, Brian H. What seems to be the issue?
That's when he be hospitable.
That's also true, Brother Hugh. You kind of raw.
That is true.
So, I'm gonna be at We Are Wrestling, and I'm gonna keep my hands clean. But I told Jay Bougie he should be happy. He's 2-0 when I'm in the building. That helps contribute to his PWI ranking.
So let me get this straight. So what you're telling me, Brian H, is that you're saying, and don't misquote me, you're saying you're kind of Jay Bougie's good luck charm.
I might be.
Is it like a misunderstanding there? Maybe he's
it
not.
Might be. But I tell you this.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to be his good luck charm come October 30th.
Okay.
Because
what exactly is October 30th?
Recombination Wrestling, and he's in the Grand Dragon tournament. But Amber Rodriguez is in the Grand Dragon tournament. So obviously.
So you're working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he better stay out of her way and stay out of my way.
Time off. Sorry, buddy.
He got Ruthless Lala. You said what?
I said so much for paid time off. You know, you're fussing about PTO.
We negotiated that already. The PTO was good.
I shouldn't have said that on air. My apologies.
We good because we went to Famous Dave's.
Oh, well, you know, Famous Dave's fix a lot of things. So okay.
It does. You know, you have the good meals.
Sure. I think that's what Dave is famous for. It could change a lot of minds.
And you know, they moved. He was down close to like Waldorf because they don't have him up here no more.
No, they got rid of him. I'm a little disappointed about that.
Me
I like
too,
Famous Dave's.
man. Yeah, look, I'm telling y'all, them Famous Dave's, like, that's enough because I didn't give them too much free publicity.
Oh, yeah, they're not sponsors.
Okay. You like the barbecue meat? That's what you like.
See, there you go. Well, you see this realness?
Nope. See, I'm not. Nope. Don't put me in the middle of it. Don't put me in the middle of it.
But yeah, so that was my. Where is it?
Hit the button.
You're supposed to run the stuff beforehand. I know how TV works, but I'm gonna run it afterwards. So that's it for my bone to pick.
And we can do that because you make the rules, we break the rules. It's going to help us get into today's show. In case you haven't noticed, if you guys can't tell by Brian H's attire that he has on, also now available at WrestlingWrealm.com.
Yep.
I've been down to design a lot of stuff, man, and I'm proud of my work. That's one of the biggest.
I'm glad you're proud. I'm glad you saying that you're proud of your work. I'm glad you smelling your own flowers, brother.
No, you have to. Life is too short.
I mean,
but gentlemen,
I tell you that, like you're pretty freaking good at what you do.
I am, and you know what though? This belt is making
the belt proves it.
You know what?
Very good.
See when I scruff my face up.
Go ahead.
You know what? Like I've been looking at a lot of my work, and I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty goddamn good at this stuff. So here's my soapbox for the week, and I'm gonna leave it at this. AJ Styles said something very crucial. He said, when you're good at something, you deserve to be paid for it. All right. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Let it marinate.
So guess what? Like I said, I'm good at what I do. If people don't want to give you an opportunity, create your own opportunities. Just hold that. That's a nugget. That's your realness reacts live on air.
TRDA.
Wow, y'all got that for free.
Oh yeah, you got that for real. That's definitely TRDA to the fullest.
There it is.
I don't wait for people to give me opportunities. I create them. I'm on one. That's two. I ain't even mean for that one to come out, but I'm telling you, I'm on one.
Don't give me no more realness.
I'm
gonna make a whole shirt.
It is what it is. But brothers, what did you guys get into this week? 18 minutes in. We're making good time because we got a lot to unpack today. We have Bray Wyatt's return. We have Extreme Rules. We have DX Celebration. We have a new United States champion. We have a lot to get into. But first, what did you guys get into this week? Like, I know there's been a lot going on. I'll tell you this. Let me start first. I went back and I watched my favorite show, on A&E biography, WWE Legends. And I went back and I watched Rey Mysterio's thank you. I appreciate you appreciating my work. Salute. Rey Mysterio's but really, really good. And it got me itchy to watch a lot of Lucha Libre. And so like I don't directly have access to like where to find what I'm looking for. So what I did was I was just been kind of basking in like the work of a lot of cruiserweights in Lucha Libre. So I was watching a lot of early WCW stuff, you know, a lot of La Parka, a lot of Pentagon Jr., a lot of Psychosis, Ray, Juventud Guerrera, Eddie Guerrero, it's countless, even Dean Malenko and Chris Jericho, just that style of wrestling and how much it's been kind of undervalued and underappreciated. And it makes me wonder that is there a chance for that type of wrestling to kind of make a comeback, because it's been kind of frowned upon in past years with WWE, but Vince is no longer in charge. He's not a fan of younger guys, but we also watched Triple H put out the Cruiserweight Classic, and cruiserweights really haven't been the highlight of anything since probably TNA's early X Division days, where they were very reminiscent to WCW's cruiserweight division. You know what I mean? So that's what I was kind of getting. I've been watching a lot of cruiserweight stuff, but has the third. What you been getting into this week, brother?
Similar.
Mm-hmm.
I actually been looking at that, like a lot of the Monday Night Wars.
Sure. Yep.
Starting
you can't go wrong with that. First of all,
yeah, starting with 96, and then you start to notice different things. You know, because when you were younger, you looked at it differently.
Right, of course.
I was a straight up WWE guy, so it was like they can do no wrong, no matter how corny or bad the product was. And now
Brian H. Brian H had the same problem.
I get shamed for being a WWE guy.
And like you just go back and you see if just everything from the ratings to how each show was built, like broken down.
Mm-hmm.
And WCW was really it back in the day.
Bro, I'm telling you, that was the reason I got back into wrestling again. Like the first thing I watched was WCW Monday Nitro. That was the it show.
Man, everything from the lower card to the mid card was
the difference.
Was elite. Then you got to the top of the card, and it's just like, that's when the corniness start.
Sure.
So it's just like, all right, whatever. But the lower card with the cruiserweights, and then you get to your mid card cats.
Mm-hmm. Your book of cheese and
straight fire.
Yeah.
Straight fire.
WCW booked the shows really differently back then, but they were fun.
They did. And I gotta really salute WCW. You know what I'm saying? To put it, just looking at it from a different perspective, from now. But that's what I've been getting into.
That's always fun to do. You know what I mean? Like, because it's different to look at it through different eyes. Through child eyes and adult eyes. But yeah, dude, I do it all the time. I do that almost like once or twice a week just to stay sane, to be honest with you. Like I don't ever want to get too old where you forget, your happy place, like on Hook. But Brian H., what did you get into this week, sir?
I didn't really get a chance to get into anything classic.
Well, I guess not. You've been flying up in.
But right now I got on the 95 Survivor Series. This is a part of the famous 5 tapes I always talk about.
Okay, I was just ready to say, now explain to everybody what this means to you.
So, as a matter of fact, as we record, it is 10/12. It's 11 o'clock on 10/12, which means it's my Uncle Troy's birthday. You mentioned about him and giving me the belts, that first belt. But back in the day,
your mother's basement,
huh?
That's still your mother's basement. You give it to Jonathan. Then you give it to Jonathan.
I think, I did, and I'm pretty sure it's gone now.
Oh yeah, that was years ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the famous 5 tapes was what he would do is he would record wrestling and then give me the tape, and then after a while, it dawned on me, stop giving them back because he never asked for them back, and I was just somebody give you something. But Survivor Series. I always remember the 95 Survivor Series and the first World War III, because it was on the same tape. So I would watch one and then watch the other, even though he accidentally recorded over Diesel versus Bret Hart.
Bad idea.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm watching now. But yeah, I didn't really get into any classics yet.
Well, that's okay. Let's get into some good stuff today. Let's get into some classics, gentlemen. Extreme Rules. We're not going to go over the entire card, but we're going to hit points on it. But overall, Brian, you might just stay right there since you kind of. You're kind of flowing in that direction. Extreme Rules overall, you were there, right? Yeah. We watched it from a distance, watched it on TV. You were there. What did you think overall of Extreme Rules, and just kind of point out some of the things that you liked about what you saw? You said dang near ringside. Were you ringside, or was that Raw? You were ringside.
Raw was both. I was at ringside.
Dang, yeah, okay, yeah. So
just Raw was front row.
First of all, what do you think about Extreme Rules, and what was your take on it?
So I only saw 3 matches.
Okay.
Because we interviewed the Brawling Brutes. Shout out to David Shoemaker of the Ringer, and the and Karrion Kross. So from the second match to the 4th match, I missed them. I did watch Bianca's match while I was, recording the interview with Karrion Kross. But overall, I thought it was good. I really, really enjoyed the Brawling Brutes match. Like, I'm so glad I got to see that in person.
Yeah, that was fun.
Cause like you always say,
they're gonna kill each other.
I pop every time I hear. If you can't pop for your friends, who you popping for? I'm just saying.
Pause.
Too sweet.
Leave it to you.
It's always brother. He will not let you live. We're gonna be old man. He could, brother. He gonna say something. His teeth gonna come out. He gonna be cracking a joke. he gonna bring he go bro.
That's exactly what's gonna happen too.
That's why your teeth will let you hear.
But yeah, just being able to see that match in person, and that might have been the first time I seen Butch. Now I think about it.
Butchie, that's my guy.
Yeah, and oh man, like Sheamus put him over. He said, man, his mind for the business is just, it's just top tier. But just watching them go back and forth, and same with Gunther, and you see they're like it's like that look on their face, like it's legit, like they like mean and they very like ready to hurt each other. Yeah. So that was good. The fight pit was a cool thing to see. I thought Edge and Finn Balor was fine, but it was a match that kind of felt went too long.
Once again, we talked about this the last goddamn time we was on this show, bro. We said the same thing. We said, "Yo, Edge, I get the psychology part, but it's like this. I don't." It is, Brian. Please hold your thought because I hate when I cut you off because
no, you're good. Go ahead.
Train of thought, but we just had this whole freaking conversation last week, right? Mm-hmm. And the old timers will always tell the young dudes, slow down, simmer in the moment. That's and it's like I get why Edge is trying to do it, but for some reason that just does not connect with today's audience. I just think we live in too much of a fast forward culture. See, back in the 80s, 90s, it was different because we didn't consume as much. Like everything that we needed was in one place. It was either TV or you were there live. Versus now, it's like the match got exciting towards the end with all the shenanigans. Versus like the first half of the match, it was like it was cool and all, but it was just kind of like, "Whew, Edge, there you go again." But go ahead, brother. Sorry,
you hit it right on the head. Like,
I'm glad it was the same in person as it was watching on TV. So
yeah, it was just like after it just. There's always like I go back to, and it's funny because. Me, Krista B, and Mimi got in a nice friendly debate discussion.
There you go again, arguing with people, yo.
At the Wednesday before WrestleMania about this, and it was the Triple H Seth Rollins match, and I kept saying it was too long, and it was the longest match of the night, and I said the matches you can take a chunk out of it and it will still be good. That's how I felt about the Balor match, and like you could have took a chunk out of it. Now the end, I like the end a lot. I was like, man, I really wish I would have picked them to win.
Sure,
because what's the way you gonna get a babyface to quit?
There you go.
Threaten his wife, and then they did it anyway. And I was like, yes, Judgment Day finally. So now it's like they finally feel like I don't want
like a legit threat.
Legit.
They got some real heat on them because they were kind of a joke at first. They're purple. You know what I mean? Kind of like, you didn't really know who the Judgment Day were. But like
now I did miss the music and I missed the mask. So by the time I got back to my seat, the match was already going on. Sure. And I saw your tweet about Finn Balor's mask.
About it. Oh, yeah. He got that Margello fat like dude, like that's a Mason Margello mask from like 2013. They was wearing those runways that Kanye made famous.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, wait a minute, why is he like, it's as I don't expect people to be into like kind of high fashion too much, in around these neck of the woods. So I was like, dude, what made him decide to put a freaking Mason Margello mask on? Nick walked to the ring. It was different, but I like the fact that match itself was kind of like I'm finally taking the Judgment Day seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like to
me,
that was
like the kind of the feeling throughout the arena, and then like I said, the fight pit was cool to see. Seth Rollins, I mean, knows how to control the crowd, and we really saw that, especially Monday, after he won. And I saw a lot of people like getting on Daniel Cormier. I mean, he was a referee, y'all. Let up.
What did they get on him? What did they get on him for? Like, what was
the way he looked or what his reactions? I just ignored. I like, okay, whatever. And I filtered it out and erased
it. He did an excellent job. Like he wasn't too involved. He kind of made his presence felt.
That's what I like.
You know what I'm saying?
He did well. He stood his ground when he needed to.
There you go. He didn't take his shirt off and decide to fight nobody or tease a potential matchup. Like, that's not always necessary, especially when you're taking away from the moment. To me, he was a part of it. He didn't have to feel like, all right, brothers, you got your part. Now I need to get my part in. It wasn't like that at all to me.
And you could tell he's a true fan, and he really understands.
Because that's how he carried it.
Business.
Yeah. That's how he carried it, which is what I liked about it. It just fit. He was there. He made it feel special. He didn't do too much. But yeah, man, that's it. It was it. Did you have as much fun there? Did you watch it back on TV at any point in time, Brian H?
I watched the women. I watched Live in Ronda today. I didn't watch any of the matches I saw in person yet. So I watched that. I was watching Bianca and Bailey when it was happening. I was just watching on my computer in the back.
Did it come off? Did it come off on camera the same way it felt in the arena? Like, what would you in this situation?
Oh,
you had to
I did watch Bray Wyatt part because I had to see how that came off.
Yeah,
sure.
I didn't even. It was so loud. I didn't know he said anything.
Yeah, it's and the crazy part is you couldn't hear it as much from TV, but then when you go back and watch the clip, they like turn up the volume a little bit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
yeah, because I couldn't hear nothing. And
he pretty much the only thing he said was "I'm here," and that was it. And he cut the
when the music hit, because the little graphic, and I was like, my thought was they really go, and then the lights go out, and the crowd went crazy,
which is why I played that fan clip. Courtesy of Mortal Kombat NW3 on YouTube.
He said, "Get him, not us."
Wow.
No, but
shout out to the commentators though. They played that role too. Michael Cole, Corey Graves.
No, yes. Speak on it, brother. What was your first impression when they? I got nervous because this is me. I was watching it. And I noticed that the closing in-night graphic had went off. I realized it slightly early, and they were like going off, and I'm like, dude, what the heck? And then it happened, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. But
that's what I'm saying. Like I saw that, and
what would you take, brother?
When I saw that, I saw the graphics or the credit come up, and I was just like, I didn't look at the time because I was working, so I didn't even look at the clock or whatnot, and I was just like, dang, they gonna end the show like this, and Bray Wyatt didn't do anything. Then the lights went out. I was like, oh, here we go. The phones went up. They dropped the music. I said, okay. And then the production part of it, and that was going to be my question to you, B-Dub. But Dwayne beat me to it. He was like, how did it come feel across, being there? Yeah,
because that was history. Like that's
it's like a moment because like you trying to figure it out, right? You're seeing. Because first everybody like just pulls out their phones,
and then it's kind of like this like brightness where you can't really see much. You see all these,
And then shout out to Stephen Michael in the building.
And
like, he's got the whole. And then when you heard that, it went up another level. Then when they started showing different spots, because people are looking at the screen, but they also looking like they're going back and forth now. So then you looking for the light, and then I'm like with my phone trying to find it, and it's like 6 minutes of my like phone footage. But then when they showed the Fiend, people went to another level.
Yeah.
And then like I'm watching, and I'm always like watching for production stuff. So I see them like moving the little chair shift thingy over.
Yeah.
But it's still like 3 more minutes to go. And then when I saw Bray come out, that's when everybody lost it. And I remember thinking, I was like, he ain't even got to come out. He ain't got to come to the ring. And sure enough, he did. And it was just perfect.
Right.
And everybody left the show on like this emotional high. Like,
I mean, we might as well get into it now. I mean, I won't go into detail, but was it worth the wait? I know he sent us down this rabbit hole, but what did you think? Real quick.
I think so. I think it was a perfect timing.
Sure.
It was a premium live event. You want people to buy your premium live events. I thought it was perfect timing.
Brother Hugh, was it worth the wait?
Yeah, it was well worth it.
All the QR codes, all the stuff,
it was time for them. It was like a perfect time for them to drop it too, because it was getting to the point where it was just kind of like,
come on, bro. Don't send us down another rabbit hole.
Right, like you said this date before. Now nothing happened. Now, all right, come on, just make something happen. And it was perfect timing. But like you said, the production, like that's the first thing I thought about when I heard about it. I was just like, man, I wish I was there.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it. I was like, nah, I want to see it on TV.
Yeah.
And the way they like the position the cameras and it went back and forth. And like I said, shout out to the commentators. When they dropped the mask on the
bro, you see when Michael said, "Oh no,
They said, "Oh no!" Corey backed up, and when the lights first went out, they was like, "Hold on, are we still on the air? What's going on?"
Corey, you still on the air?
Like, what is this? We still here?
I was like, dude, that's stuff Vince would never let them do before.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. It's the little things you gotta pick up on. Yeah, and I loved it. It was perfect.
No, it was a lot of fun, man. Like I said, that the Brawling Brutes, man. I shout out to Sheamus. I've never liked Sheamus, but I am loving his work now. I don't know what's going on, man. There's a lot of people that I don't like that I'm just enjoying what they're doing now. And one thing, I shout out to Sheamus, as well as Rich Holland, Pete Dunne, and all of Imperium, because these young guys are giving Sheamus new life. He's hanging with the young boys, and they have he is hanging with these guys that just reinvigorated my passion for this business all the way up 100% again. And I'm like, man, that's what you want to see. And it's just, to me, like I said, I'm seeing Sheamus do the best work of his career. This is the most interested I've been with him. I don't even mind, like, because I know we were tripping about Pete Dunne, but the fact that he's himself, I can call him Butchie. His name's still Pete. He just goes by Butchie. Like, I'm okay with it because it's still the same guy. You know what I mean? And I'm enjoying it. I know, like I said, a lot happened on Extreme Rules, and we don't have time to get into all that stuff because we need to get into this whole situation with Bray Wyatt. But I'll say this before we move on. Brian H., you might have been right about Karrion Kross. Wow. I don't want to say I was disappointed, but it wasn't, and I wasn't the only one that said this. Somebody's like, this wasn't the match that we thought was going to help kind of put him on the, on the map. Like, I wanted him to, like, okay, this is it. Kind of like, you know how Jinder had with Randy Orton, where it's like, a lot of people don't like Jinder, but they got the job done, and they put him in a space where he looked like a legitimate contender, which ultimately led to him being a new villain and eventually WWE champion.
The Maharaja.
I'm expecting that from Karrion Kross, but that wasn't it. But like I said, we don't have time to get into everything about Extreme Rules because we got to move on to Monday Night Raw, and then we'll kind of incorporate a lot of different things that comes with all of that. So, gentlemen, Monday Night Raw, Brian H. once again in the building in Brooklyn. DX's 25th anniversary celebration. Brian H., did they show the DX stuff on the screen while you were in the audience?
So
like DX started the show backstage with Triple H. It was X-Pac, it was Road Dogg, and it was Shawn Michaels.
So I got in. By the time I got into the building, I had a couple little delay. Okay. So by the time I got to my seat, the bloodline was getting ready to come out.
Okay,
leave it to the brothers to be late.
Sure.
No, it wasn't that.
So did you at least go back and watch it?
No, I know. Like,
yeah, it's an opening segment. You should go back and watch it.
Opening segment. DX, they're backstage and they're like, dude, we're gonna go out here and blah blah blah. And they're kind of cracking jokes at themselves because they're old now. All of them extremely old, and they're like, we're gonna be the most foolish old guys because that's what DX is kind of predicated on.
Yeah.
Even when they were in their 30s, they say we're in our 30s acting like we're in our 20s, and then when they got older, like we're in our 40s to act like we're in our 30s. And they were just kind of poking the fact that, hey, fellas, we're almost in our 50s. We know we're old and we're just going to get in trouble. And so Triple H is sitting there and he has his glasses on, his suit on. He's like, guys, listen, this is a big night. It's sponsored season premiere, no cuss words. So of course, Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg and X-Pac start cussing up a storm. They tell him to get ready, put a t-shirt on for goodness sake and stuff. And they start saying different things. They talk about, look, man, no cock references. And they who put those four rubber cocks over there? And then he grabs it and he's like, dude, you're grabbing the cock again. And he's like, all right. Shawn Michaels like, oh, everybody, let's give him some privacy. He's choking this chicken again. And I was like, they pushed all these buttons they probably shouldn't have pressed. And I'm like, they're funny because they're still DS, but they're old guys and they know that.
Man,
and that's just how the show. The attitude was like, look, let's point out the obvious. Let's not try to be cool. We're old. We're doing whatever you want to do. Who gives a crap? We're here to celebrate. But the DX 25th anniversary celebration, what did you think of it, Brian H? We're all DX kids. You know what it is. And I'm glad that our guys are all alive to celebrate it. Rest in peace, China. So now, no longer with us. And Billy Gunn wasn't allowed to.
I'm glad they shouted her out too.
Sure. And I'm glad that they don't hide her. You know what I mean? Like when you see like all the Photoshop pictures of DX, it's literally all 6 of them. Is it 6 of them? Is it 6 or 7?
Because there was 5 of them, then you add Shawn Michaels.
There you go. So it's and that's, to me, that was the DX that whatever I always imagined. Like DX was always a Bullet Club. Even if they weren't together, they were still considered DX. Yeah. So that was fun. But what did you think of the let's start with a brother Hugh. What did you think of the DX 25th anniversary overall? It wasn't too much. They did enough. They did what we always do. We shenanigery.
Right. I was about to say they back up to their old shenanigans. They did exactly what they expected to do. I'm just missing that. I was about to call him Daddy Ass. My bad.
I mean, that's what it goes by these days, brother.
Hey,
somebody saying pause. They usually call him Daddy.
Hey, bro. I was just, because that was my man.
No,
that was my Billy man, Gunn. And I was just like, come on,
Tony
man.
was not gonna let him show up.
Right.
Especially now.
Well, absolutely. But yeah, that was the only thing for me.
How did you like the shout out that they kind of did when Road Dogg did his New Age Outlaws thing and he let the crowds kind of say his name?
Oh yeah.
Like there's always a way around everything. Just like
Right,
Michael Jordan covering up the Reebok logo on his sweatshirt on his USA jacket with the USA flag.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, I was look at Brother Ross saying he wished Bray Wyatt would show up to take out the old heads. Come on. Listen, man, I had fun. I don't care how many times DX comes back. They're running the business now. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Triple H is in charge. Shawn Michaels is in charge. X-Pac is living his best life. He's married to a sister.
That's what it is.
That's what it always is. You kidding me? Who else is married to a sister? I was like, oh, that's what it is. Bret Hart.
Dirk Whiskey.
Dirk Whiskey, Bret Hart.
Definitely Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, he started dressing up in button ups and slicking his hair back. I said, he got a woman taking care of him the whole time. It's a sister. She's like, I aged too. I ain't mad at you, brother.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah, he's got it.
She was probably. I'm joking. I was like, she was probably a fan.
She married.
She won.
Hey, he married to a sister. Cody's married to a sister. X-Pac is married to a sister.
See,
Road Dogg is back in the building, which is great. DX saved the business. They had every right to celebrate him.
And you know what? It just felt like it just felt good. It didn't need, like you said, not too much. I marked out when I saw the tank. You know,
of course, man.
I didn't see it. I saw a truck. I didn't see a tank.
Whatever it was.
So, there you go. Tell you.
But and then
teeth gonna come out one day. Just
yeah. So that was fun. Definitely, a mark out moment, and just to see them just act a fool because and then at one point y'all got me in trouble. And you see like those guys like genuinely love each other.
Yeah, their brotherhood. It's like
downs.
It's like your dad and his brothers getting back together, and you realize how bad they are. It's like, oh, so you guys were bad when you were younger. But like when they all get together in one room, you're like, oh, y'all gonna cut up. Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. It was just a great moment. And then like you said, DX fans and being around everybody. It's funny. I'm looking at Survivor Series '95 and Bill Clinton's on there with Todd Pettengill. That's early vintage wrestling. They could do that. That whole president at the show,
bro. But, that wasn't Bill, right?
No, that's really Bill, yo.
It's definitely not. It's impersonator. It's not.
No, that's Bill.
It's not.
Never mind.
Trust me. You said you watched the Survivor Series, right?
No, yo.
What are you watching?
I got work.
You definitely got. Listen, I got the best of Survivor Series DVD. I know a clip you're looking at.
Not work.
Bill. Because later that night,
at the time I'm watching.
He looks like Bill Clinton.
I watched from my kid mind.
Dude, he looks like. Listen to me, because when I saw it, it looked like him too. But when you watch the clip, I think either Sonny or Terry Runnels is on his lap. But when you hear him talk, you can tell it's not really his voice. He starts pouring popcorn on her chest. He said,
"Enjoying a whole match."
Bro, he thought it was Bill Clinton for real. Oh, they got you. He was today years old. You're like, oh, because the president was there. That's back when he could do that. I'm like, Brian H.
It was the MCI Center.
Dude, that's the whole point. You got worked.
There you go. I definitely got worked
real bad.
Dang.
But no, man, I don't care how many times they celebrate DX. DX is always going to be
Shawn Michaels said, we ain't doing this 20 years. And he said, we did 20 years.
For the love of God, if we're doing this, please put us out. And then I was laughing because Road Dogg called him D-geriatric, D-geriatric X. And I was like, they're just old guys now. There's old guys cutting up, but they still got it, man. I don't care what anybody says.
That's the thing. Like Road Dogg was one of the best on the mic back then, and he's still talking in the same era as The Rock and them,
right?
But it's just Billy Gunn used to always say that too. It's like, yeah, I challenge anybody better than Road Dogg,
Yeah, no, those are my guys, man. The New Age Outlaws is my favorite tag team of all time. I had a blast. I will never get tired of DX. DX for life. Like I'm gonna tell you what made me upset. When I saw their shirts they had on, right? I was like, oh, those are tough shirts. I go on WWE Shop and I'm like, oh, they probably only sold those shirts at the show because they literally said like DX 20th anniversary, Brooklyn, something.
Yeah.
But then when you go to WWE Shop and they have a DX 25th anniversary section, but that Brooklyn shirt is not there. I was like, oh, come on, bro, it was after the fact. I know I didn't even think about it. I was like, because in my mind, I was like, oh shoot, I need to get that shirt. I checked the next day, and I was like, no, it might have been later that night. I was like,
okay,
oh shoot. I said I need. Usually when they put the town in, that's usually like a
exclusive. Yeah,
kind of like with CM Punk return that shirt. Like you can get that shirt without the stuff on the back, but the one on the back says like the actual date.
There, right?
I was there. Yeah. So, which is I understood it, but them shirts was tough. I will never get tired of seeing those guys doing what they do. Like I said, they didn't do too much. A couple of backstage segments just to say hi, say thank you, and just enjoy each other and celebrate, which I thought was dope, man. But DX 20th anniversary, I'll be celebrating those guys for a long time. But speaking of DX celebrating, so many groups have been inspired by DX, by the NWO. But brothers,
I know where we going with this one.
My favorite, I almost put on my Bullet Club t-shirt again. I said, no, I'm not gonna wear it again.
It's just show you could do what you want.
That's the whole point. I was like, no, I'm gonna wait. My favorite tag team has returned to the WWE to join back with my guy, AJ freaking Styles. The Bullet Club has expanded back to the WWE. The OG Good Brothers, Luke, Big LG, Doc Gallows, whatever you want to call them, the Machine Gun, Carl Anderson. They almost call him the Machine Gun. They call him the Machine. I see. They finally returned, brothers. My guys. Listen, I'm cheesing. I've been talking about my guys.
I thought you were gonna show up with your open weight belt tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. I feel like Shawn Michaels in '98 dropped the ball. I forgot I got that joint. I should have grabbed it when I was at my mother's house. Dude, that's the one that freaking Carl Anderson carries.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I was like,
bro, I didn't even think about it. I forgot just that quickly. The crazy part, you know why? Because when I was over there, when I was at my mom's house, that's where all my titles are, because it's just more space for right now. I didn't think about it. Like that was like last weekend. And when I went over there to drop off some stuff for her, I didn't even go look, not even thinking about the OG Good Brothers were coming back. Brian, they spoiled it for me because he was like, I was like, yo, I'm seeing reports that my guys talking about coming back. He's like, shoot, they might come back tonight. I didn't pay it any mind. I was like, hey, they might, I didn't, because I was on the move. So it wasn't like,
He definitely did say that, yeah.
And I purposely didn't go digging for it because I don't want to see like, oh, they're spotted backstage. Like, because I'm at the point now in my life, I'm like, I want to enjoy the surprises, right? So but when they came, Finn came out and AJ did his thing, and Finn, shout out to Finn, he sold it like crazy. Finn, he made that when he heard the music, he didn't pay it no mind until he saw those guys, and his eyes lit up, and I was like, that's right, the Good Brothers are back. And I'm interested because first of all, I'm glad that Triple H is in charge now with their second run in WWE, because now they're going to be taken a little bit more seriously as a tag team, right? They were kind of a joke to Vince. Doesn't like serious stuff. He's like, don't come here and be so serious. Let's have some fun. And that's what he kind of did with those guys. And he was trying to ease into them, and he let them be the OC for a little bit. And then the pandemic hit and things just went haywire. Vince loved them too. Don't get me wrong. That Penguin Paul Heyman didn't like them. But Triple H, they were Triple H guys. And they came back. I think this is the second time. No, the first time they debuted at Staples Center. And this time they debuted at Barclays. You know what I mean? They returned at Barclays, which I thought was dope. I couldn't be more happy that those guys are back in WWE. They did their thing in Impact, and they showed up, but to me, they were too big for those companies. I'm like, dude, they belong in the big times. There's nothing else for them to do in those other places, man. Yeah. And even their demeanor, they came back very serious, very edgy. And I'm like, man, I'm glad that the Bullet Club is back in WWE, and I'm looking forward to their their feud with the Judgment Day, why they kind of postponed the thing with Edge and Beth Phoenix. And they kind of transitioned into this. The seeds were planted a while ago, a couple of weeks ago. AJ randomly wore red. We talked about that. Brother Hugh's client to say he'd been cripping red and cripping blue, and all of a sudden he came red it out one day and went back to black. But Brian H, what was it like? What was the pop like for my guys as they showed up to Barclays?
Man,
to help out the Good Brother. And the t-shirt said, "I got your back."
Yeah, it was
straight up
loud, especially You when AJ like pulled in close to Finn Balor, everybody, because everybody was kind of like tipped off with the reports and stuff.
Sure. Everybody was kind of expecting it at that point.
But then it was like, you can expect something, but when it happens, like, yes,
sure, it doesn't even matter. For. Yep.
And that's what it was like. They came out there, and then they actually, tussled around where I was at.
Yeah, I saw. We saw the video when you sent it to the group, and I was like, "Oh, he's right there! Like he's right there."
And so you could see
hop. Did she hop over your seat or somebody that was next to you so she can get Dominic
near
out
me? And she went it was like next to me, and I saw the guy was on the other side of Kaz, He was like, man, because he was already marking out over Rhea that night. He's like, bro, Rhea out here. I said, yeah, you know. And so when she came over there, it was, you know, his brother had a moment. I was happy for him, you know. Good. Very respectful. But
you gotta do disclaimer. That's the day and age we live in. You got to do disclaimer. It was respectful though. It wasn't
very respectfully.
Yeah. So it was crazy. You can see like the fire in their eyes. Like,
yeah, you know, man. Like we haven't felt this. It's been 2 years since they've been around, man. And brother, what's your take on Triple H at it again with his? You know, he's back at it again with the Triple H dust, right?
Yeah.
Are you expecting anything different from the OG Good Brothers in this run when it comes to them being with AJ? To me, I was heartbroken. When I say I was crushed when they got released, I was pissed. Like I was crushed. They were just starting to hit their stride again. You know, they just retired the Undertaker. They were part of that, man. And just for them to just have to lose everything, I'm like, man, they're older guys. I don't think they want to travel the roads up and down. They want stability. They want guaranteed bread. They want to be on the biggest, and they want to be with AJ. Like they just fit each other. They're, you know what I mean? What are you expecting from the OG Good Brothers second run? Or what do you think about Triple H's approach to tag teams? Because to me, he's bringing back a lot of tag teams, a lot of factions. Survivor Series is probably going to be lit as far as all these factions and tag teams everywhere. What are you thinking?
He's definitely bringing back like prestigious teams back to the tag team division, and he's going to build that bad boy up. That's for sure.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah. But as far as the Good Brothers, in you know specifically, like I feel like they're going to be utilized better, over time.
Yep. Right.
Vince, I kind of felt like he liked them, he used them pretty well, but it kind of felt more into like that comedic boat for me.
There you go. Yeah.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's Vince's fault or Paul Heyman. It might have been Paul Heyman's fault. Who knows? I don't know. But
it just seemed to this day. You can suck it, Paul.
It just kind of like seemed like they was more comedic for me, and it was just time for them to go after that. But now, it came back with a serious tip, and it looked like they're all about business. You know, and they're still very successful in New Japan.
They did an excellent job out everywhere.
Yeah. Which comes still champion.
Former Impact champion. Carl Anderson is still the never open weight champion. I remember there was a running joke. They're like, oh, yeah, Tony Khan's going to be pissed off because New Japan retweeted the WWE tweet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, leave it to Triple H to say, hey, listen, let's do a partnership. Forget AEW. You think AEW won't drop that in a heartbeat? I mean, New Japan won't drop them in a heartbeat, please.
Right.
But you know, I'm sure he's gonna get a chance to kind of finish out his dates and drop the title and all that kind of stuff. But
absolutely.
But yeah, brothers, it's just real. It's unreal to be. I get emotional when I think about it. Like, yo, I can be this old and have this much fun watching wrestling again. It's like I said, it's hitting 2016, 2017 levels all over again.
That we was just having this conversation Monday night after Raw. A bunch of us was all assembled. And it's
like the Avengers assembled,
right?
Yeah, it's nothing like wrestling, bro. Like it saved so many of our lives without us realizing it.
Mine, I can tell that right now. Like you have no idea the hell that I've been through in the last like 10 years. You know what I mean? And when all else,
ain't what nobody laughing about, yo? We have
ain't nobody see that right there,
bro.
Y'all missed all of it, but go ahead.
Wait, I'm gonna go back and run a tape back regardless. So you gonna get a text like, bruh.
Hey, bro. I went to sip the lemon water and completely missed my mouth, and it went all down on my clothes.
Yes, I'm gonna run back the tape so I can see it. But when wrestling has been such an escape, when for 2 hours out of a day or a week, or with how much we consume content, it has. And went back when we had the WWE Network. Wouldn't that be the ultimate flex if Triple H brought that back?
Yo,
bro, I'm gonna flip out. But with wrestling, it definitely saved my life. Outside of Jesus and my mama, you know what I'm saying? Like up top, and then my family and everything, all that stuff. But like, that was one of the superficial things that that was like, yo, that when all else failed, when there was nothing there, bro.
That was it.
Hold on, bro. No, brother Raj, you said something true. What he said? He said, a long way from stomping out dudes in the clubs to teaching high school basketball. I'm telling you, it's the truth.
Hey,
I used to be a bouncer. I used to work in a high school. You know what I mean? And now I'm doing what I'm doing now. It's a beautiful thing. And wait till you see my next move, because I dang sure ain't done yet. I almost cussed, but I'm catching myself. But yeah, man, man, I can't. like I can't. Remember there was a time where like everybody was in WWE. It wasn't no more. It's not funny. It wasn't no more talent in Ring of Honor. It was you was in NXT, you was in WWE. Yo, we're hitting those levels again. Don't get me wrong. AEW still has a ton of talent out there. That's not here. But like you talking Cody, you talking everybody that left, Johnny Gargano, all those people that he brought back.
And guess what? He's not even done,
bro. If
apparently he's not done.
They get Kenny Omega in the Bucks, it's over. Game over. I don't care about anybody else. If he gets Kenny Omega and the Bucks, it's over.
That'll be crazy.
It's crazy.
Bro, it's over. It's gonna be 2017 all over again. We're literally like, yo, everybody's in WWE. Like before there was an AEW, there was no like you weren't going to Impact. You were like, nope. Like everybody's in here. But
my question is, when is it going to be too much though?
I don't think it will be. It's because look how Triple H is booking these shows. He is finding a way to keep people involved. He is evolving storylines. He is expanding like territory. And it's like he keeps saying, I need more, but I'm trying to figure out for what, Triple H. What do you have up your sleeve? What are you trying to do? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe he's going to try to figure out a way to utilize 3-hour programming for once. Because sometimes they tell you 3 hours can be long. You know, I don't know. There's a lot going on. You know, you can filter guys in, you can filter guys out. But I mean, he's loading up on tag teams again. I'm seeing him bring a lot of tag teams, like veteran tag teams, because he wants to get those guys going again too. But it's just been it's been unreal that at this, like I said, I never thought at this point in my life I would see such a dramatic change. I was nervous. I never thought the Good Brothers was going to be back in WWE again. But you know, we got to move on. I'm not going to keep harping on the Good Brothers because we still got to get to Bray Wyatt. And yeah, but listen, I'm like I said, your boy is happy. My guys are back. I'm looking for interviews. I'm looking for reasons.
Man,
I'm not surprised.
The type of stuff I love though. Seriously, like when you can see your favorites or your brother's favorites, your sister's favorites, your friends' favorites come back, and you see that raw emotion.
Bro.
You know, we've been watching wrestling long enough. Sure. But you know, you have favorites, man.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you want your favorites in certain companies. And to be able to see them be highlighted and utilized right, and like you said, just when they were, I remember a quick story you told me about AJ Styles, and you was talking about, you know, because you was always a big AJ guy, and you was like, look, man, AJ my guy, but you know, personality, and then you was like, man, him hanging around Anderson Gallows, he ain't had no choice but to let his personality come out.
Yeah,
so this is gonna be fun.
I can't wait, man. I'm so
and they working with Finn.
That there's so many wrinkles that like it's. I don't have time to break that down. Like there's so many wrinkles and dynamics.
Like, reacts.
I'm telling you, I need to figure it out because this is like I'll be on there like pouring it out. But this is the whole point. Like, how do you make you keep the Judgment Day interesting because they did something completely evil, like, and you're like gasping at, yo, I can't believe they actually did this, right? And then you know, Edge always takes the extended breaks. He's older, you know what I mean. And then like, how do you keep that heat on him, or how do you keep caring about him? I care about them that much more now because now, first of all, the Bullet Club is back, the OC is back, and they have history with Finn. Like Finn is shining right now. Like this is NXT Finn. You know what I mean? Like, and this is what Finn's not the world champion. Finn's not even in the conversation, but he is being put in a main event spot. He's working with young talent. He's working with new talent in Punishment Martinez because he ain't young. And young talent in Dominic, like Ray had to pass him off to another vet, and now he's working with him. He's working with Rhea. These two, it's like, dude, why is this team so simple now, right? And then you add a different wrinkle, more vets to the game, and I almost call him Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles. You have Anderson and Gallows. Those guys all together, they just belong together. Period. And now they're going to be utilized in the way they're going to be spotlighted and displayed and projected in the way that Triple H originally intended for them, because I remember Triple H wanted to bring those guys to NXT, like just come, like if it's too bad, just come down here because I know Vince doesn't really get you guys, and I know what I want to do. And it's like, dude, I'm so excited for what because now they get a fresh run. It's only been 2 years. They're not like old and broken down. Like they're still relatively young. You know what I mean? Like they have another solid run in them. AJ is 46. AJ can probably go for another 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? You know, so I can see AJ being Jericho status. He probably doesn't have to be, but you know, if there's going to be one last run between those guys, you know, for them, I'm glad that they can have it together in WWE. But we'll move on. I just had to, you know, talk about my guys, man. But
side note, That clip of Brother Hugh is on Twitter right now.
Yes. Brother Hugh, you spilled that water. Now you I'm trying to see it. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm going to it now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this podcast, head to the Wrestling Wrealm Twitter page where Brother Hugh drank that water and he spilled. Oh, there it is. He spilled.
Don't give me replayabilities. I can cut on the fly now.
Bro, you spilled it on yourself and then you started laughing. See, this time he wasn't asleep. He was looking at, hey, bro, don't miss your mouth this time. He went back. Yes. But brothers, it keeps getting better. These shows are getting so easy to do now because you don't got to draw straws to try to figure stuff out. Yep. We got a new United States champion. Brian H. Let's start with Brother Hugh because Brother Hugh's funny. Hold on. No, Brother Hugh's funny. How perfect?
Comedy was never my strong suit.
How perfect? See, like Brother Hugh's a color guy. You're the play-by-play. So he's just like I got to get the. How perfect is Seth Rollins as United States champion? He is hitting Chris Jericho levels.
Man.
Like he takes a loss one night, it goes back the next night, and he's right back where he was before he started. When you can take a loss and it doesn't hurt you at all.
I keep telling people about this man. I called it first of all.
Okay, talk to the people about it. What do you mean?
I definitely did call it. I was like,
say that
Seth is going to get that belt, and if it's not Seth, it's going to be Brock.
Yeah,
and that's going to set up the feud between Brock and Bobby, but it still happened anyway. But Seth is the perfect guy. Him or Kevin Owens or Sammy, they're the perfect people to come off a loss like that, a pivotal loss, and bounce back and win a belt.
Now tell people why Seth Rollins is the perfect person, especially right now with the way that the United States Championship is being booked. It's like so much respect to Gunther. That's his name now. Like Gunther. Like that's how I say it. To Gunther and Bobby Lashley for how they have been booked and how they have carried those championships, right? So to me, the prestige has been reset. Like this is an important title, right? And now you have a guy like Seth Rollins. Tell the people why it's important that Seth Rollins in this space that he's in, where he's so relevant. What is he going to do for the United States Championship with him as champion? How he transitions out of one feud and how it just opens up the door for so many other opportunities now.
Well, the major thing is, first of all, like he's able to add another element to his character. You know what I'm saying? He's able to elevate. He's already been losing. He has that swag about him, that drip about him. Now that arrogance about him, and he was losing
right
on a weekly basis. Now look, I come back, I win my title. Oh yeah, that arrogance gonna go from here on up. So it's like he's gonna get extra cocky. He's gonna go out there and he's gonna put people over. He's gonna do his thing. He's gonna make that title very prestigious. He's gonna do what John Cena did back in the day with that U.S. title.
I agree. Brian H., why is Seth Rollins the United States Championship is in the main event scene? Let's start there, right? Let's put it in proper perspective. Like Bobby Lashley was a main eventer, right? It doesn't matter where he's on the card. The main eventer is a main eventer, correct? Seth Rollins is a main eventer. Seth Rollins is doing a lot as it is. And I'm just like, dude, why is it important that Seth Rollins in the space that he's in right now, right? Why is it important for Seth Rollins to hold that United States Championship going forward, along with what he's already doing with his own personal beefs and all other kind of stuff? Because to me, I'm starting to smell like a Jay Lethal like type Ring of Honor 2016-17 run with the world TV title, where the way that, and people that don't know this, if you go back and you watch Ring of Honor between that era, between 2015, 2017-ish, you couldn't tell who the world champion was on the show because they were both being booked the same way. Does that make sense? Like the only way you knew that one was the world champion and one wasn't was because one title said it and the other one didn't.
Yeah,
it's because they both were. There were times their shows were built around Jay Lethal and he started and closed the show. There were times where Jay Briscoe would start the show and close the show. Same thing with Adam Cole. I believe Jay Briscoe was the champ before he got injured. He had a bad neck injury. I believe it was neck injury, but during that time, they were being booked the same way. And I thought that was so unique, and I thought it was so cool, is because you had either one of those guys starting and closing your show, because they were both top guys, but one had the television title and the other had the Ring of Honor World title. And I remember Jay Lethal saying, "No, this title makes me the top guy, not the other one." And I'm like, man, I feel like I'm seeing something similar possibly happening with Seth Rollins, Brian H. Now, you alluded to it was some issues with TV because they were concerned with whoever top guy on the show not having a title, maybe not the world title, but a title. Seth Rollins is in that space now. Tell us how important it is for Seth Rollins to kind of have that title at this point.
I mean, you just said it. Oh,
we lost Brother Hugh.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Quick switch.
Right. Well, no, that ain't it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we experienced. There it is. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Please wait here one moment while Brother Hugh finds his way back to the stream. Oh, there he is. I heard it. There it is. Bam. I heard it.
That was perfect timing.
Ladies and gentlemen, returning to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast stream, Brother Hugh has the third HASTHE 3RD. Welcome back, Brother Hugh. Go ahead, Brian H.
I'm back.
No, I mean, you really.
God dang, that belt is beautiful. Sorry, buddy. Your title looks nice. That thing is gorgeous. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head, though. He's a top guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Seth Rollins, all the work he's been doing. I know a lot of people's concerned about his losses, and I keep reminding people,
doesn't mean anything for wrestling,
huh?
Doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't, and he is maybe the last person to beat Roman in a one-on-one match.
True,
even though it was disqualification.
He been on
and the reason why I always remember that was because when I went to the fan access thing at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He kindly said, it was the night, it was the and Justin was, I'm not sure Justin was at this one, but it was the morning before night 2. They asked him who was he rooting for, Brock or Roman. He was like, well, I beat both of them for the belt, and I beat Roman recently, so I should be next. So like that right there, he would always have that card,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think. Now, him having the United States Championship adds credibility to the title. It makes you, and not to say the other guys didn't, but it keeps the credibility up because you've been on the street with, you got Theory who had it, who was like the future, right? Sure. And then you had Lashley, a former champion, top guy. He's being booked like a top guy. He was protected in this loss. Now you got Seth Rollins, who's been must-see TV for the past 3 months.
He's been carrying the shows a lot of times.
Yeah. And even with, the he said all the time, all these people singing my song, after he won the title, stood on it, just had the crowd going, know. So that right there. So I think it's important. He's going to elevate the younger talent, but you can also put him in matches with people like a AJ Styles or Finn Balor or somebody who's on that same level as former world champions vying for the United States Championship. It reminds me of back in the day when Sting will hold it or Bret Hart will hold it,
Come on, speak on it, brother. You're talking good now.
Yeah, so you look back at WCW when they would do that, it made sense. And that's what we get now. And I'm here for it. I was happy he won the championship. I figured he would. And I was really happy with the way he beat Bobby because I'm interested with this. This is the first time I actually marked out for Brock Lesnar coming out. Because usually it's okay, it's cool.
You've been a Brock hater for a couple of years.
Yeah, but until he became Cowboy Brock. But I still never rooted for him. And I'm not going to probably root for him to beat Bobby, of course. But I'm happy to see him because I knew he wasn't going against Roman. I knew Roman had already left. He was going to the city. So I knew, he's here for somebody else. And it's unfinished business.
I wasn't expecting to see him as early as I've seen him.
Okay.
I figured he might wait a little bit longer, and I was because I would still be mad at Roman Reigns, to be honest with you, but I was kind of shocked though. But I think Seth Rollins, certain wrestlers make me want to get titles like belts. See, I got one, right? Yeah, he's got that United States Championship right there, and I feel like Seth Rollins is going to make me want that title. I thought
it's beautiful.
It is though. I think, especially in person, I didn't pay it any mind when you look at it, but when you see that thing in person, you're like, oh man, that's how I felt about the Oval Intercontinental Championship that you have. When I saw it in person, when I saw it, I said, "Oh, this thing is massive. Well, I love this title." You know what I mean? Because that's when it first debuted that, and I on my soapbox again. When they first debuted that purple oval title, I was like, "Oh, that's too small. I don't like it." But
right.
I call it the Randy Orton era, when Randy Orton and Shelton Benjamin and Chris Jericho started carrying that thing. I was like, "Oh, that thing looks massive." And I'm like, I like all my belts, kind of big, look prestigious. But it looks bigger in person. And that United States championship that you have behind you, it's the same. Like I'm looking at it now, it didn't look that big, but I've seen it in person. It's actually massive and
huge.
And I was like, oh, I like I said, if even without I wish they add some blue to it, but you know, you never know. But Seth Rollins as United States champion is only going to be a lot of fun. It's like I said, they're taking the title and they're giving it. Rollins is going to do what Rollins does as it is, but now they're taking a part of the organization and they're putting on him. To me, that's like if you're going to have a title on that show, that's not the WWE Championship, it's the United States Championship. So it's like I feel like they gave him his championship. You know what I mean? And I think that's it. Signals him as the top guy. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say you can still open up for opportunities for him versus Roman.
Big
champion
time.
versus champion. I love those opportunities.
It's not the first time. I like it too, for real, because it's like it shows you once again. It's the way I talked about that Ring of Honor. There's a reason Jay Lethal had both titles, because they put both titles on the line.
I'm tripping. Remember, Seth Rollins' first United States Championship was the same. He was WWE champion.
He was WWE champion. One of my favorite. That's when he faced and he tried to kill Sting. That's why Sting left and went to AEW, because Seth Rollins tried to kill him.
And then he tried to kill himself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but that's you know, I'm excited about that. But you mentioned some things when it comes to Bobby Lashley unfinished business. Wasn't expecting Brock to come out and decide to have beef with Bobby Lashley, but I'll say this: I'm noticing, and Brian, if you can, since we'll stay with you since you made the comment, I'm noticing a few nuggets, a few things here and there that kind of hinting at the Hurt Business. Kind of, they're going to piss Bobby off. And there's a lot of things that's going on that's making me go, I think they're trying to plant scenes for a Hurt Business reunion, because they kind of need each other. Like together, they're not. And let me put the puzzle pieces together. And
there he is. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
There he is.
Hey, that calls in the building. And crazy part is, I knew this was what you were talking about. I just wanted to go see what he had to say. But yeah, I'm looking like here they tried to put Mustafa Ali. He has a great. I like his pants. He had a great look the other day. Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander together for like a second. They were opening shows and doing stuff, and all of a sudden that died really, really fast. That didn't last. Shelton, MVP, and Omos still doing like nothing. Like don't get me, they're building Omos to be kind of a big heater, which is cool, but big heaters really aren't main programs, they're accessories, right? I saw there was a video. There was that's funny.
There was wore braids last year. Absolutely.
It was Shelton Benjamin in a video with MVP. Like they had a meeting on social media, and Shelton Benjamin kind of made a comment like, you know, these things didn't happen when the Hurt Business was whatever the case may be. MVP made a comment and said, "Look, Brian, this is dying."
Your brother Raj, yo, why you be spelling stuff out? Because it's funny. Because brother Raj is educated,
like a cow though. Mustafa. Like,
but I'll never forget how he wrote it, dude.
Oh wow. But you listen, but when you read it, you knew what he was talking about.
Exactly.
Like, oh, he really spelled it. Who's in too?
Uncle Rod's gonna make sure he's gonna get you laughing, just like simple stuff. But
yeah, so
this is why y'all need to watch. Y'all listening, my bad. Y'all listening live. We appreciate. Listening in post production. We appreciate y'all. I'm telling you, the chat be lit.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's part of that's. When we open that up a little bit more, that's been like a part of the show. These like if you come, when we literally say come be a part of the show, we literally mean come be a part of the show. But yeah, it's MVP made a tweet like, this would have happened when the Hurt Business together. I'm like, okay, let's be real. Bobby Lashley kind of made it clear, like, look, man, it started and it stopped too early. And mortgage education. And I feel like the seeds are being planted. Bobby Lashley's going to get pissed. He's going to go back heel again, which I'm happy. He had his face run. He has a reason to be a bad guy again. But am I tripping, brothers? Do you feel like the seeds for the Hurt Business 2.0 is being planted? I remember somebody photoshopped a picture of of Mello and Trick. And MVP was like, "Oh, the WWE's not ready for this. Neither is the rest of the world. This would be ridiculous." But I don't know. Do you guys think that the season been planning for the Hurt Business to kind of have a reunion and kind of get that run that we never got a chance to get?
Man, look,
I feel
with a new bodyguard added and Omos. Go ahead. You got he don't got to wrestle. He can think about it. He can come out there with his suit and his gold chain on. That's intimidating.
That's how Diesel got better.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
like that's exactly how Diesel got better.
He's a young guy with all those vets.
The best wrestlers in the world watching him. Shawn and Razor every night.
That's the scary. That's the scary thing. Bobby Lashley can handle himself, and then he's got a vet in like Shelton Benjamin and MVP's mind. Shelton Benjamin's just muscle, and then you got the young X-Pac and like you got a heater. That's like the Giants, the Big Show in NWO and Omos. Like, what do you? I mean, am I tripping, gentlemen?
I think it'll be great, and I also think that with, if we go back behind the curtain, it seems as if like the powers that be now are kind of letting people like,
pitch their
flex their creativity.
Yeah,
and said, because there's no secret. Like they done did a table for 3. Usually, like when groups break up, it's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to go do my own thing. They've been loud about this since they broke up. Like
because it was tired. Disrupted in the middle of its. It was disrupted like right in the height of its popularity.
Yeah, that was awkward. Yeah,
and this is like, oh, it was never about that.
Made sense of it because that's what we can do.
Sure,
but at the same time, don't mean we liked it.
There you go.
Don't mean we loved it, but they've been doing like whether it's most of the shoot. Anytime they like can do an interview out of character, they let it be known they didn't want to break up.
Sure.
So now I think it's time, and it's gonna be money. Like, I'm pretty sure they had like decent merch sales.
Of course, I didn't even get a chance to get a Hurt Business T-shirt, bro. Like,
likewise,
I was like, dude, what? This was supposed to go on for a while, even without the title.
And
then they just separated. I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, Shelton Benjamin is one of my guys, so to see him, I'm glad to see Triple H in charge because I don't feel like I got to worry about my guys getting cut anymore. Triple H is looking for talent. They're probably going to soup up like main events and stuff like that, like literally the show main event to make sure that talent stuff get displayed and all that kind of stuff. But man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it, but only time will tell. But I feel like a kid again. That's the most important part. But gentlemen, the meat and potatoes of tonight's show, Bray Wyatt. We talked about it in the beginning of the show. We talked about what's his return to the WWE? Was it worth all the hype? And earlier we took the time to speak on it, and we pretty much discussed, how we felt about just what they did, the overall production of what they did. But I'll say this one thing that WWE is also doing well now is, and I'll say this last thing about Triple H before we move on, is the way that he's kind of seamlessly transitioning people into new feuds and new stories is almost like seamless. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, just that quick. We've kind of put a nail in this and we're moving on to the next thing. And like you said, it's proof that we can always revisit it, but now we can kind of, move forward and do a lot of things. But Bray Wyatt returned with unfinished business. He returned there's a lot of things we can say about his return. It's been overwhelming. Everybody in the world isn't talking about this Bray Wyatt return. I'm talking about every promotion, every company. There's a lot of things that we can dissect about it. We don't have time to go through the film like it's a game film. On
Patreon,
on the football channel. Yes, subscribe to the Patreon. Brian H will do it. Brian H, your brother Hugh. But there's a lot of different things that I want to dissect about his return that I think we need to point out and get into before we kind of wrap this show up. But there's a lot of things that people notice in regards to like the blue light, kind of like the way Brody kind of debuted in AEW. There's elements of the Dark Order, but something was extremely different about Bray Wyatt. He kind of re-debuted all his former gimmicks, and we saw a different mask. We heard a different voice. We saw a different setting. Now, Brother Hugh, we'll start with you because I'm long-winded, so I'll go last. But I noticed a lot of different things about Bray Wyatt. He was very different, and first and foremost, he wasn't the Fiend. What did you notice the most about Bray Wyatt's return, and what are you expecting? Where are you expecting this to go? Because I'll say this, I'm not going to get into my whole point, but I'll say this. The feeling I'm getting is like he's finally going to tell his real story, like how all these things are incorporated, because it's not like he just, at one point he was Bray Wyatt, he left, he came back as the Fiend, he left and there was no real explanation about it. And this is why I hate the Vince way of doing stuff now. Like you don't realize how bad it is until you see something different, right?
Out of it.
He's like Bray Wyatt, he loses, he teams with Matt Hardy, it gets boring, stops, and it's just nothing. Matt Hardy's probably going to return too. He's like, well, shoot, if they letting Bray Wyatt do this stuff, maybe I can finally be creative. But
I said that tonight.
Because Matt Hardy was like, he was the first one to be like, oh, I'm so happy, because the stuff that Bray Wyatt is doing now is the same issues that Matt Hardy left. He's like, dude, if they just let me, Matt Hardy would not be in AEW if they had just let Matt Hardy do half the stuff that he was thinking about doing for his character in regards to just expanding. Vince he wanted to be a wrestling show, but Triple H allowed Bray Wyatt to he started his own horror movie, and now he has given us a horror movie character in wrestling. So we're not even worried about his matches at this point or who he's matching over. We trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So brother Hugh, what do you think is next for Bray Wyatt? And what do you think is going to be different about who he is now versus the way he was before? Based off his reintroduction, because there's a lot of things that happen.
Well, as far as what's next, you don't know what's next, because first of all, if you think about it, he debuted at the end of the show, and he didn't target anybody. He didn't target anyone. So it's like, so is he just going to terrorize the WWE? What show is he going to be on? Who is his target? Why is he here?
They said he's going to be on SmackDown going forward.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big money show. But as far as
Fox was the highest bidder, sorry.
Yeah. As far as the reveal, everything from when I saw the Fiend being revealed, I was like, oh, I can understand the other characters.
There you go.
But the Fiend?
Yeah.
So it seems to me like he's leaving that behind. And like you said, he's moving forward, and he's going to tell a new story. We just don't know what that story is. I'm thinking now, it seems like if you really think about it, all of those characters that were introduced before or that they showed, they're depleted. They don't even matter anymore. And then we had this whole concept of 6. So is there a new family coming?
Whew.
Everybody was talking about, oh yeah, the puppet's going to come to life. All right, well, they did.
Yeah, exactly. And
they did.
Now what?
What?
And it was just like that. And I think that's the $1 million question. And I think that right there is worth the price of admission.
It sounds like we have another investigation.
It's coming because it's like,
right. What's next? What's going on with this 6? I feel like a new family's coming, bro.
Brian H., tell us why we are in the space where we care so much about a character. We're not even worried about the fact that he's a professional wrestler.
It's all sports entertainment, baby.
Like, we didn't even ask about his matches or who he's going to face next, or is he still beefing with Randy Orton? We're trying to figure out, first of all, we saw his entrance. We're trying to figure out who he is now, because when they asked Triple H about Bray Wyatt, and they said, who is this white rabbit? He said, it's somebody no one is talking about. I know Triple H enough. Me and Trips we go way back. And I'm like, Triple H is saying that for a reason. So are we getting a new version of Bray Wyatt? Or are we getting like, why did he come back the way that he come back? What message was he trying to send to us by showing the video package that he showed us? And where do you think we go from here? We went down his rabbit holes. We knew it was him. That the last video was the biggest clue, when the rabbit went to the X and he went down in that fire, and we heard that voice, and I was like, okay, it's official. But I don't want people to take for granted that entrance, that return was not for the sake of just a return. That was a message that was being sent. And I'm sure people are going to miss it because everybody was just so excited to have him back in the first place. But Brian H., you are someone with superior wrestling intellect. Brother Hugh, you are someone with superior wrestling intellect. We know better. So Brian H., what did you take away from that? What message was he trying to send to us? What was he saying? Who was he returning as?
I mean, when you think about it, you know, he's got the whole world in his hands, right?
Okay.
And you remember years ago, he always talked about like this vision of like what it was like 80,000 people like screaming his name, singing his song, doing the white lights. You know, and you asked the question about what is it about him? We're more interested, haven't even seen him wrestle a match yet. And that was the thing, like Bray Wyatt, the character. You know, you who name a Bray Wyatt match you really remember, right? It was never about that with him.
Yeah,
You know, it was always about the character. Like his dad was, you know, I guess like one of you know that Minnesota crew. I think he was a part of. But Bray has been character work since NXT.
Yeah,
you know, and you remember when the Wyatt family came up to Raw in 2014, 13 or 14, 13. You know, it was a big deal. So yeah, there's a message being sent. I haven't had a chance to really decode it, but you know, and I saw somebody. Raj said like the Fun House. I think he said got destroyed.
Yeah, it was depleted right there in that video.
And I think that we'll see the and I think we're gonna move on from the Fiend. But again, like you were saying, like you know,
for
a new
now.
mask.
For now, right?
Sure. Well, the Fiend is something that can die and come back because, like you said,
and
we talked about this time.
I mean, I agree with you. It's the three faces of Foley.
Yeah, we talked about this in 2020.
Can y'all hear my dog barking? Can y'all hear it? Dog barking?
No.
Okay. Slightly. But
okay.
He's cool.
Shut up. Sorry.
But yeah, we talked about in 2021 Fiends, you know, they get up, they die and they come back. They die and they come back. So I think we see that, but I don't know who he's targeting. But this is certainly interesting. And I'm here for the ride because the fact they didn't give us too much, we still hooked.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter who he's targeting, man. As long as he's here and he's creating memories, that's it. Like you said, nobody cares who he is wrestling right now. You know, it's all about that wow factor.
Yeah.
Like, what story is he going to tell? He's so captivating. Like, come on now. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm just eager to see what's going on. What's next?
Ladies and gentlemen, you get a live version right now. Breaking news exclusive of Realness Reacts, because I'm about to break this down like my name is Brian H.
There it is.
Brothers, here's what I'm thinking. Go with me. I've got story time with the realness. In a world. It's like, no. Here's what I was thinking when I saw that. I've looked at that video a couple of times and I just like, man, I'm not even into horror thrillers, but if I've seen a good one, I've seen a couple of good ones. I'm like, well, this is really good. It's got crazy messages to them. But here's what I took away from Bray Wyatt's return and how he returned. Here's where my mind is going. Everything you guys said was absolutely true. The music comes on, he has the whole world in his hands. He's just this sin is very sacrilegious kind of tone. That's the old Bray Wyatt. That's one, right? That's who he was before the Fiend consumed him. You got to remember that, like, Bray Wyatt was someone who was one way, and the Fiend got the best of him, and he apologized. He was scared of the Fiend. When you look at the demonic realm and devilish type things, you in order to get rid of one demon, you scare him with a bigger demon, right? That's kind of what the Fiend was to Bray Wyatt. Because when Bray Wyatt was who he was, and he was just kind of this swamp Duck Dynasty, as they kind of call him, looking guy. And Duck Dynasty is a great show, by the way. I love it. And he was Duck Dynasty? Oh yeah, big time. I've watched that show 1,000 times. I love Duck Dynasty. It's a great show.
Never watched it.
Oh,
I just never think you did either.
You guys are missing. You guys are missing out on good quality content. Oh, man.
I interrupted your story.
No, you're fine. Uncle Si, listen, if you don't know who Uncle Si is from Duck Dynasty, you're missing out on life. Like, he just brings a smile to my face. But that was who he was. And then all of a sudden, he disappeared. He came back and said, I apologize for all the wrong things that I've done. He has taught me a different way. Bray Wyatt of the Firefly Funhouse was an apologetic version of himself because he was apologizing for what the Fiend was, right? He was apologizing for who he was before because the Fiend kind of set him straight. He can't control the Fiend. The Fiend was what kind of came out of him. What was kind of the Fiend was supposed to be the demon that was controlling who Bray Wyatt was, and now he's supposed to be trying to be reformed and on his best behavior because he's afraid of this being because he can't control it, right? And he created this world, this Firefly, that's creepy because he's like every week the Rambling Rabbit's like, man, you guys don't know what's going on here, man. It's creepy in here, like you do, and he would kill the rabbit every week because he's like, oh, you silly rabbit, you're exposing secrets you're not supposed to expose. And it was just far out. It was completely different from what we were used to. And he becomes a Fiend. He gets burned. He comes back to life, so on and so forth. When I saw Bray Wyatt come through that door, I'm like, dude, wherever Bray Wyatt was before the Fiend took over, he came back from that realm. So it was almost like the original Bray Wyatt is back from the dead. It seems like he was in a whole different world and he had to fight his way to conquer the Fiend to get back where he is now. And it was like, to me, him coming back with that lantern, because the original lantern had Bray Wyatt's head on it with his eyes kind of sewn shut.
Right.
And that was the Fiend had conquered Bray Wyatt. And now this time the Fiend, Bray Wyatt returns instead of the Fiend character. And I'm like, dude, wherever Bray Wyatt was, whatever battle he was fighting in the nether regions or in the spiritual world, it seemed like he finally won. And now he's coming back. And I'm like, dude, Bray Wyatt is back, and you're making it very specific that this version of Bray Wyatt is back. So where are you coming from? Where have you been? Like the Fiend is not just, he's incorporating everything because he just could have came back with he's got the whole world and did none of the other stuff. But it was something very specific that he did was while that was going on, he showed you what had happened to the Firefly Funhouse, just like Brother Hugh said. It had cobwebs. It was on, it was off, and then that TV came on, and there's this message that he keeps sending to the world. It keeps saying, who killed the world? You did. What world are you talking about? Bray Wyatt originally was the eater of worlds, but now he's saying, you killed the world. Who killed the world? You did. He has this new face. He has this new mask, and he says that he's here. And I'm like, dude, outside of his tribute to Brody Lee, I'm like, dude, what dimension was this Bray Wyatt in? Where was he trapped at while the Fiend took over and he became this different character? And it seems to me that door opening up showed that I'm back now. And I'm just like, where in the world are you going with this version of who Bray Wyatt, this iteration of what the Bray Wyatt character is and has developed to be? And that's the part, gentlemen, that has me the most excited, because if you can captivate me on the level that you did when you debuted with that video package and stuff like that. The Firefly Funhouse has always been so flat and so creepy, but I wanted so much more from it. And what I saw this past week at Extreme Rules, that's the version. Like, I've been looking for that. Like, I was so disappointed with the Firefly Funhouse at WrestleMania and how they did and how they did it, because I wanted them to bring the Firefly Funhouse to life. Like, I wanted us to go inside the house to see what other rooms are in there. Like, the way they, like, here's my interpretation. This is what I would have done. As far as, this is why I'm disappointed in that match, because we saw it reminded me of something I saw in NXT with Mello and Trick, and they were in that haunted house, that NXT Halloween special over the pandemic, and they with Johnny Gargano, and I think Dexter Lumis was there, and they did that whole thing where they was inside this house, right? And it was like a haunted house special. And I said, dude, this is what I wanted the Firefly. I wanted them to bring the Firefly Funhouse to life the same way they did with the Boneyard match.
Okay.
I wanted them to be in that room, but I wanted to see what life was like outside of that room. Even if it was like, you ever been like to a fun house at a carnival or a haunted house where it's like one room is completely different from the other?
Yeah.
Like, that's the version of that I wanted to see against him and Johnson. I wanted to see a cinematic match. Like, the way they did it was fine. It was kind of allegorical, but I was like, dude, I wanted them to film that like this horror. I wanted to be a horror movie come to life. I wanted to see a horror movie version of a wrestling match where they would show us that room, but then they would show us life inside. Like, this is kind of like a twisted Pee-wee's Playhouse. Because if you look at Pee-wee's Playhouse, it could be pretty creepy. But like, I wouldn't dare look at it now because it's this late and it's dark outside. I'm not looking at nothing Pee-wee's Playhouse related. That might freak out. But if you look at Pee-wee's Playhouse, it's very whimsical and everything is very different about it. It's like, it's creepy looking because it's like, woo, this place is overly whimsical. I was expecting that version of the Firefly Funhouse to show up at some point, and we didn't really get it. But this is the closest that I've gotten to that feeling where I'm like, it's not just this set. They're like trying to bring this to life. And that's what I wanted to see with that match with him and John Cena. But I feel like now with Triple H at the helm, we saw a little bit with Randy Orton and him with the whole Sister Abigail thing. And you know, he burned down the house where his sister was buried and all that whole thing. It's just Bray Wyatt is a storyteller, and I'm excited about what he's going to be able to do and how creative they're going to allow him to be. They have one of the lead writers from Marvel, one of the lead writers from from the horror genres that's now on the creative team that I'm almost sure is going to be specifically working on Bray Wyatt stuff to kind of help bring, you know, his vision of what he feels this character should be, and probably tell some of the stories that he really didn't get a chance to tell outside of what Vince kind of wanted it to be. So, gentlemen, I'm looking forward to it as we wrap this up, man. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Excited. This is wrestling, man.
Yeah, it's just it's the beauty. I'm scared because I'm like, dude, don't string us along, because I feel like they're gonna just string us, because now that they know how to get us, it's too late now. We've exposed ourselves. They said, yo, if we send people down this rabbit hole, we know they're gonna go because they proved they were willing to go, and they love this guy so much that we know that they're gonna do it. So I mean, that's just where I'm at mentally, and I'm looking forward to it. Bray Wyatt is going to be a game changer. He's going to be an instant ratings booster, you know, the more his involvement is. But gentlemen,
started to put a QR code like right there.
See that? There you go. That's doing too much. That's messing people up in the head. Send it to the website.
Take them right to our merch store.
Exactly. Take it to the website. Like instead of who killed the world? Who bought our T-shirt? How about that?
You did.
You did.
Matter of fact, y'all buy some T-shirts.
Buy some T-shirts,
sweatshirts, hoodies,
all that stuff.
It's breezy out.
It definitely is. But yeah, man. But brothers, once again, it's still burning midnight oil. Not too late, but we're gonna wrap this up, man. It's always good to talk wrestling with my brothers.
Shawn Michaels wild card match.
Oh, you can't run with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt took Marvel's rider, such as brother Rod said. But man, like I said, I couldn't be more than happy to have this conversation with you guys, because, like I said, it feels like we're kids again, and we didn't, you know, I know you guys came up together, but now we're trio champions, and
yes, sir.
And
shout out
man,
to the guy.
Shout out to the guy, Brandon the guy. But listen, follow us on all social media platforms at Wrestling Wrealm. Subscribe to our Patreon channel, Twitch, and YouTube at the Wrestling Wrealm at patreon.com/wrestling_realm. And gentlemen, any last words before we get out of here?
Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna probably drop some content this week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout. Brian H will be dropping content this week. Brother Hugh, what you dropping this week?
Bars.
There you go. I was like, me, hopefully like 2 or 3 pounds. So everybody's dropping something this week. So we got content, we got pounds, we got bars. So ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us. Until next time, we out. Peace.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes!